Well, hello out there, planet Earth, and happy Friday. It's freaking freezing outside here in the Northeast. It's colder than it was during Christmas time. Happy New Year to all you guys. I really missed the airwaves. It's Friday, and it's always Friday with me, Stephen Frey, your SMB guy. ICYMI, or in case you missed it, SMB stands for Small and Medium-Sized Business. For the last 20 years, I've been a voice and a sounding board for business leaders, helping out wherever I can, being an advocate for them, for their employees, whoever needs me. Every single Friday, folks, one of my favorite things to do is to offer what's left of my mind and my voice to this radio show, where I interview small, medium-sized business leaders, as well as the folks who guide them in the right direction, their advisors. Folks, this is the time of year where we start to make our New Year's resolutions. We want to start out on the right foot. We want everything to be nice all year long, but a lot of times we just get caught up in the throes of life. Well, on this show, we like to take advantage of some of that weekend freedom and clarity that we get. The name of the show, not just to play on words, always Friday. My last name is Frey, which in German means free. I always have had this sentiment that most of the clarity and thought leadership around business, particularly small, medium-sized business, because we all get caught up in running our ventures, it actually happens on Friday. Right about that time, we feel the freedom of the weekend coming. However, we all like to enjoy our cocktails, our football, our break from the office, and we tend to forget about the clarity that we get when we have a hard work week and we clear our desk for the weekend. We come back on Monday hungover and with some gaps in memory potentially. And, what was I doing on Friday? I thought I really figured this out, but no, just get thrown back into the world of business. And we forget about the things that we learn, the way we might be able to make our lives a little better, a little easier, and a little more profitable. So once again, we like to take that freedom and clarity of Friday into the weekend and discuss these popular topics that are on the minds of today's business leaders, as well as their trusted advisors. Again, my last name means free in German, so not just a coincidence, not just a play on words here. There is a deeper meaning. There is more method behind the madness. I hope you guys had a great New Year's. I did. I got a chance to go to Vermont. I got a chance to see a lot of music over the month of December. Also had a cold and some cooties running around the house that had us all down for the count for a week to two. But this is the time of year where everybody starts to look at being healthy again. If they were really getting loaded at the end of 2023, everybody's in the gym this week. They might not be there again next week, but what are you going to do? The idea of making the New Year's resolutions that revolve around health and wellness is a very big topic. And my special guest today is someone who we've spoken to before. We've spoken to his partners, we've spoken to his colleagues, but he definitely believes wholeheartedly that, a resolution should not be just a New Year's thing. And I believe in that as well. That's a big time concept where people think they're going to make some type of magic happen by putting it on a new list for the new year and everything's all good. But you got to make resolutions to have better habits in your life, to be a better you, to be the best you if you can. There's no such thing as perfection. We've talked about that on the show time and time again. There's only progress. But, creating better habits, healthier habits on a normal basis is a lot better than making some type of resolution. Just do it because it's the beginning of the year. And that's a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. So I know you guys have heard that talk is cheap. We're on talkradio.nyc. We don't want this to just be talk. That's not the idea here. The goal is let's use the insight on the business landscape and create more impact on Monday morning. That's it. There is no substitute for surrounding yourself with the right people first. That's why I've interviewed this special guest and his partners multiple times already. You keep a focus on the process that's going to help you achieve your goal. So that way it's not a happy accident. Shredded bodies and feeling healthy, that's not a happy accident. That takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of good habits, right? You can't focus on these products out there. You can't focus on a crash diet. You can't focus on some new workout apparatus. If it's rooted with good people and good process, the products will be there when you need them. They change every day anyway. Everything that we deal with in our personal and business lives, it all begins with people. We're all people first. So in the spirit of surrounding yourself with the right people, I know we have it with us today for sure. Jim Goetz. Jim Goetz is Chief of Human Performance at Functionised Integrative Therapeutics. I know you guys can see him who are watching out there. He is a very handsome gentleman, I'll tell you straight up. But Jim currently works out of Colts Neck, New Jersey. He's passed both the chiropractic and physiotherapy national board exams. Loves to pursue his passion to functionize human performance. Not just a play on words, a couple plays on words. Functionized Integrative Therapeutics, they've been known as along the way, which is FIT for short. He is a certified strength and conditioning specialist through the NSCA, holds numerous other certifications in human performance fields. Jim's expertise is in the advancement of the human performance and utilities biohacking to do so. I love that term. You got to talk a little bit more about that. I love it. It's great. So he has an extensive background in the field of strength and conditioning, has coached national champions, Olympic athletes, NCAA Division I football, NFL, MLB, MLS, USA gymnastics, professional boxing, and NPC women's athletes. Jim has been published numerous times in the American Chiropractor magazine with articles ranging from ADHD, you're welcome, I can be a nice example of that for you, to the advancements of understanding nutrition and how the human physiology was designed to utilize them. He was also interviewed by the Vitamin Shop magazine and Biohacking Fitness, co-authored Biohacking the Brain for Success with his lovely wife and bodybuilder, Shantae Goetz, has been a guest on numerous podcasts, and is now in the midst of producing the Keto Project Movie, which is to be aired worldwide. We're definitely going to talk about that. He's currently on the executive board of the Colts Neck Business Association, coaches travel baseball. I have a quote here from you. I don't know if you remember this one. It's only through questioning and extensive research that we may find the right answers, to which may at times be paradoxical. Jim, does that mean there's a method behind the madness?
We just wing it and see what happens.
Jim strives each day to bring the performance of individuals to levels never thought of before. He's the best person I could think of to chat about with this today. We would normally discuss my favorite questions around movies, TV, and music. We've done that with Jim in the past, but I have some surprise questions for him as somebody who's coming out with a movie himself, taking some time out from training folks in the Fit Lab, showing them the pain associated with the gain, especially on certain machines in there that we'll probably talk about. Jim, welcome back, my brother. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate being here. And thanks for popping up your old photo over there. Now I see what you look like without glasses, and you got that cold thermogenesis thing going on. So
You don't know how right you are, man. The heat on my downstairs floor is out this morning. It's approximately 40 degrees in the bottom part of the house right now.
I understand.
I got a little heater in the studio here. I don't exactly feel like The Shining, but it's close when I walk out of here. Dude, I was at the ribbon cutting ceremony when you guys opened the Fit Lab. You guys moved locations, you broadened the concept, you're constantly going out in different directions, both personally, yourself becoming a mechanic, a lawyer, and all kinds of things in your spare time. But what you guys have been doing, not only are you great people, like you follow a great scientific process, which we'll probably never be able to explain to everybody in an episode. But before we get to any of that, give us a little taste of the journey. It's been just about 3 years since the last time I hung out with you on the air. So tell us about the founder's journey. How'd you get where you are today?
Well, I think it all started probably over drinks. My parents got together, and fast forward a little bit.
Twinkle in my father's eye. Yeah, I know. Blah, blah, blah.
So when Dr. Brandon, the guy with the large tan, standing opposed to Dr. Shantae over there, him and I were actually roommates at chiropractic school up in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And through numerous practical jokes between him and I, mostly with leaving the drawer open, just a tad, he knew it bugged me.
So you crack into it?
I'm the anal retentive guy around. Everyone kind of knows that. So just leaving it open every single day drove me insane. So we were buddies ever since that. We even got to a point when we did actually open up. He left a waste paper basket right by the door. So when I open up in the morning, first thing I'm stepping in the basket. Him and I, oftentimes, he's pretty much, other than Shantae, I gotta say, is the only other person in my life that's actually challenged me. Like, truly challenged me. Not like, hey, you're a pain in the ass. Like, you're actually asking questions. He was a year behind me in school, and through an actual real injury when he was doing some fighting, getting ready for an actual competition, he hurt himself. So he came over to me into the actual community clinic, and I was known for creating new therapies, new modalities. Being able to take a ultrasound and a laser together and put it with some muscle work underneath somebody's scapula in order to get better range of motion, things like that. So he would ask me and then point out another journal article and say, well, have you thought about this? And he's the first person that I could actually say, you know what? You're actually right. Damn it.
Wow.
Thank you. You got me. All right, cool. And then came to Shantae, of course. I mean, it's been 23 years, it'll be 24 years this coming August that we've actually known each other. And she as well has also challenged me, you know, hey, you moron.
Oh, you too? You get that from your wife? Okay.
Yeah. It started a long time ago.
Absolutely.
But we've actually remained, unlike individuals have known each other for 23, 24 years, we got married, we actually remain close. I mean, obviously ebbs and flows, but to this day, she still will challenge me and my ideas and making sure that I kind of stay on point, stay on path the right way.
So I get challenged by my wife all the time, but usually it's more in the guise of you moron. Like, so for you, is it like challenging where, oh, let's talk it out, there might be something to this, or is it kind of start with you moron?
It depends how far I go with it. You know, you moron, you're working on one movie. Why are you starting a spin-off right now? Finish the movie first. You know,
oh, you mean kind of like me? You're working on one radio show. Why would you start another one? Things like that along like gotcha.
Bingo. There you go. Keeping me on path. So, you know, when we first all got together, and the three of us, we all hit it off really quick. We became buds. Shantae would come up and visit when I was away at school, and the three of us, it helped that the guys downstairs were also owning a company called GetWineOnline.com. So they bring home all the expensive wine samples, meaning big bottles. So, you know, through experiences, you bond and grow closer.
GetWineOnline.com. Awesome.
I don't know if Leo and Scooter are still doing that, but if they are, there's a good pop for you.
It's a good shout out for you.
Through the years, though, we never actually decided to go into business together right away. It was kind of a gradual progression. And, you know, DMB, as we like to call him, he was all about, I'm going to go home back to York, Pennsylvania. I'm going to open up a little mom and pop shop, spend my remaining days there, raise a few cows, have a couple kids, and live happily ever after, sail into the sunset. I asked him, hey, you want to come over to New Jersey? He's like, hell's no. I said, what if I do all the work and you treat patients? He said, well, okay, I'll be interested then. And so we started slow, like everybody. Just because you know textbooks in and out, because when you go to school at that type of level, you are forced to regurgitate information. It's like opening up a fire hydrant and saying, swallow it all, every last drop, because you're going to be tested. And if one drop spills, you're failing and you're an embarrassment, and F you.
It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly. And everything you see on TV, Scrubs, for instance, I love that show back in the day.
Oh yeah,
where JD became a resident, and he was the you know what? I mean, he was kicked around and beaten and no respect. And I got those in internships and clerkships, and I got that. But when you go into business, it's like you're going to do this all over again. You're going to get your ass kicked every single day. Something you tell a patient. I remember a patient came in and took one look at us and said, "You three are way too young. I don't trust you." Like, wow, glad that we look younger for our age. I appreciate that. We know more than you. You came in here for a specific reason, so let's achieve that reason. And it took a couple months to win her over every single visit. And in
let's save that one for a little later on in the show, because you know how much I love stories from the field and the madness part. But let's go. There's just the family part as we segue into our commercial break here. Yeah, there's no doubt you guys have that family feeling, but not only just you and Shantae, but also with DMB, Dr. Mike Brandon, who was the second interview I ever did on Always Friday. We're we're at number 140 something or whatever now. So we're going back like 3.5 years pretty much for DMB, Dr. Mike Brandon. But you know, it always Mike was the first one I met out of you guys, and you know, networking group, we had great rapport, hanging out, talking all kinds of fun, talking practical jokes. I love that about you guys. But York, Pennsylvania, my brother Brian went to York College of Pennsylvania. No way. And I don't know anybody that's like knows that area and can reference it. So we started laughing about that immediately too. But yeah, just the way that you guys riff off each other, as like it's like I come in and do my thing as infrequently as I do, which I'd like to step it up in New Year's resolution. whatever.
We'll get to that
Yeah,
too.
but yeah, it's like it's just so fun. Like, yeah, you guys look young. You guys have a different approach than most folks I've ever dealt with in this type of space, and it's a very productive one. It's a very grounded one. It's a very methodical one, and it's a results-driven one.
It's it. If you don't get the results, what's the point? Right?
I agree.
There's always got to be a plan. And we decided when we first went into business, we could be the uptight docs, wearing our suit and tie every day and our lab coats and being totally anal retentive.
No, you can't. I don't think it's in your repertoire whatsoever. We got to take a break. I can't. I know I can't silence you, but we got to take a break. We'll be right back with Jim Goetz, Chief of Human Performance at Functionised. Come back.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Broncu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Frey, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc, now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Friday. It's always Friday. And it's me, Stephen Frey, your SMB guy. Not just me. We're chatting with a favorite human being of mine. I think he's a human being. He might be some type of bionic man. Jim Goetz, Chief of Human Performance at Functionised. Jim, this is the method part of the show where we like to discuss the science behind what everybody does. I know you're never going to be able to teach everyone the science of your world in one of these little segments, but I know we can touch on it a great deal. Before we get deep into the method behind your madness, I always like to sit out by the fire pit, which I kind of need desperately right now because my house is freezing. But I like to sit out by the fire pit and just give a quick perspective on the situation. So I had been working out with you guys for like a year and a half, something like that. And I had to take a break for a little while, had a lot of work demands, changes in some positions, career that I was working with. And I had to kind of stop for a little bit. And I stopped definitely too long. You know, normally when I go on shows like this with guests like you, I'll wear your type of attire because I have a couple Functionized shirts. I figured today it was probably more appropriate to wear the Pete and Elda's and Carmen's Pizzeria shirt for eating the whole pie down in Neptune City. So you got to take yourself off of mute. I think you might be on mute. But yeah, this was more of my mantra for the last year and change since I was in the Fit Lab last. But you know, I did make a comeback recently, and when I came back in, one of the first questions that you guys asked me, I think you and Shantae were actually together, was, what was it that made you come back? And since you guys are practical jokers, and so am I, the biggest thing that I could think of and say real quick is, well, you know, sometimes when your Apple Watch tells you it looks like you're working out, well, I had that happen when I went to go get the mail one day from the mailbox, which is at the end of my driveway. So that was one big indicator that it was time to go back to work out. The other one was I like funky socks. Like I have all kinds of funny socks that are sports related, that are food related, that are just alcohol related, whatever. But bending over to put them on a couple of times as of late, I almost passed out. So, sometimes you got to take some of those little personal cues that, it might be time to get into some type of fitness regimen again, not just about having the beach bod or vacation bod, but if your Apple Watch thinks you're working out when you're walking to the mailbox, that's probably a sign that you should probably get into some better shape. But, all kidding aside, right? This is the time of year. Everyone makes that resolution. They get back to the gym. And I know you kind of just look at it and laugh because you made a resolution to yourself many, many moons ago to live a healthy lifestyle. Doesn't mean you don't cut loose once in a while. In fact, I've been with you to cut loose once in a while. But it just means that having a little bit of a different lens, a different mindset, a different perspective. And I'm all about sharing stories, providing perspective, and creating connection. I say that all the time when I do this show. Those are my superpowers, right? So, from your world, right? The method behind your madness, the science behind what you do, where we talk about what do you do, how do you do it, how do you go to market for it. I met Mike at a networking group years ago. He was the second interview I had on this show. I've hung out with all you guys over the last 4 or 5 years. Now you're my 140-somethingth episode that we're doing. So great to know you guys. Talk to everyone a little bit about the method behind your madness.
Sure. It really came down to the question that we asked you, the why. Everybody bullshits me. They try to bullshit me. Let's just put it that way. I want to look good in a bathing suit. I want to just look nice in the mirror. What does that mean? What does look nice in a bathing suit mean? What does look nice in a mirror mean? Take off a few pounds. What does that mean? Tell me, do you wake up in the morning, and I ask anybody listening to the show right now, do you wake up in the morning with the drive and the passion? Get up out of bed, give your gratitude to the world for getting up like I typically do every single morning before I put my feet even on the ground, and say, today, I'm going to drop 2 pounds this week. Yeah, that's my goal of the week. Hell's no. I'll even say by dinner time, I'm so famished that I want to eat everything in the house. So
you're in good company.
Where's that going to be? Where's the passion and drive between that? So without a passion or drive, we're just spinning our wheels. We're not doing anything. When it even comes to, money, I want to have $1 billion. Great.
Why?
Exactly. What's the point of $1 billion? I always found that the results, what you're going to get, is directly correlated to your actions. So let's now build a program backwards. Your goal is to lose weight. No, it's not. It's really not to lose weight. Your goal most likely is to look a certain way at a wedding. Your goal is to...
I'm about to get my pants to fit. That's a good one for me.
Bingo. Get your pants to fit, not buy a new pair of pants. Other individuals, myself, next month, I'll be competing in a 4x400 in the Milrose Games. I want to hit a time. So I get up in the morning with that as part of my day as a goal in mind. And now I build a program backwards in order to achieve that. We all have our goals. We just need to be realistic with ourselves. What is our true passion? If you want to be a billionaire, but you want to work on nonprofits all day, unless you own the National Football League, you're not going to become a billionaire as a nonprofit. So, and what is money? What is the appearance of a body? This is all subjective to oneself. So many men that I meet after the age of 30, 35, all of a sudden start being self-defeatist. I know I'm never going to see my abs again, so I just want to fit into my pair of pants. Well, why not? Why are you underselling yourself? Seeing your abs again is just a direct result of not eating like crap. And you and I have partied together. We know what I can eat. And we were talking about Sundays. Sundays is our family football days. I make sausage and I make peppers. There's a couple bottles of wine and some cocktails. There's some other things to enhance the mood that goes along with it. There's also ways to counteract what you're doing. Do you have to cook with sugar? Do you have to cook with vegetable oil and lard? Do you have to drink that much, or can you use other things that are now legal across the country to enlighten the mind a little bit instead of poisoning yourself with very toxic alcohol that makes you feel like crap on Monday morning?
Is there an all of the above answer or no?
In moderation, you can have it all. I mean, truly.
Welcome to my struggles.
That's something at Functionised that we've known, figured out, and continue to build systems for individuals because everybody's different. I wish I could say, here's a doc in the box, here's a one box, drink these shakes, you're perfect. If anybody tries to sell you a shake, run and run fast. I implore you.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. Like, there's been a couple crash diets. Listen, since I was born, there's been crash diets. Since you were born, there are crash diets.
Of course.
I've seen people that have done it, subscribe to a particular kind of food. Everything has to be by that food, have to live this way from now on. And I've seen some crazy results with them. And almost all of them have, I don't know, like reversed, like taken steps back since then. It's like, again, like I talk about on the show all the time, there is no such thing as a magic wand, a shiny new mousetrap, something like that. You can't be product focused because the products are going to change.
All the time. And everyone wants the new shiny product, even something we bring into the lab.
Oh, yeah.
I will get the best products out there for our people because this is what we're actually consuming ourselves. If I'm not going to put it in my body, I'm not going to allow you to put it in your body either. But I noticed sales dry up within 30 to 45 days because somebody wants a different label.
Yeah.
So we have to recycle the same products differently so people think, it's new. But meanwhile, I gotta say, it's kind of annoying because I'll buy the same exact stuff for us in the house month after month, week after week, year after year, and it works. It's good. So if something works, why continuously change? Somebody gets bored with a workout routine. If it's working and you have not hit a plateau, why change it? You haven't stressed the body to see the results in that way. And that's what we find so often.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of everyone should be taught to question everything. I probably said this to you in the past, but in all aspects of life, personal or business, if I can't find something out there that I feel like directs me down the path that I want, I default to either George Carlin philosophy or the Simpsons philosophy. Right?
Love it.
And George Carlin always said, children should be taught to question everything. It's like, don't just go work out because you see it on YouTube and every other commercial that comes about while you're watching videos is, hey, do you want to burn fat quickly? Like, that's like everything, every
Yes, I do.
And Engineer Logan says George Carlin was a genius. You couldn't be more right, my friend. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is, I know lots of folks who are, I try to think of it as health nuts, workout freaks, whatever. It's like you're like an all of the above, like chief of human performance. I'm not exactly sure you're human, but I like to think that you are for sure.
And my DNA results never came back after multiple times with the 23andMe, so the consensus is out there.
I'm human with a twist, maybe a little bit. I don't know, but I try to think about the people first, right? And what you said is so spot on, ridiculous, like. In order to care, people have to feel something. They have to have some type of emotional response, right? And that comes from things like passion, just like you said. Like, what is it you're passionate about? And that couldn't be better emphasized than the other day when I was with you working out and we started talking about cars, right? Anybody who knows me knows that if left to my own devices, I'll shop for cars all day long. Like, even if I'm not looking for cars, I've always been obsessed with them, right? And it's like as soon as we started talking about it, like all my numbers on the machine just started going
skyrocketed.
Yeah. But that's like you can't get any better evidence than that. I should have taken a freaking picture of that and put it on the green screen for you. But like passion, like that motion creates emotion. That's basically what it said.
It does. It's got to really touch you. It's something I'd heard pretty recently ago. I think it was actually in the Hunger Games prequel movie. It is the difference. Most people are existing. They're not living. Yes. And that's what I actually am finding out more and more as I get more and more rings inside of me. If you cut me in half like a tree.
Yep.
Getting more cultured, as I like to call it, is that the majority of humans on this earth now are simply existing. So when I ask, what's your passion? What's your goal? 95% of people, yeah, exactly. I don't know. Let me think about that. But I want to lose weight. Okay, but that's not a real goal because you're not going to stick to that tonight or this weekend. And I know that, and you know that deep down inside. So what can you do to truly live? And that truly is by following a passion. You get that emotional response. And when you get that emotional response, everything becomes possible because now you're following that response to your end result and your goal. And if it's deep enough, chances are you're going to achieve it or get so close to it that you're going to be right there with it, enjoying it in every single way. I was unfortunate. I followed my passion from 3 years old, and no excuses, and definitely needing a surgery later here.
Yeah.
I did not finalize my goal of ending up in Cooperstown as a Major League Baseball player. But you know what? I got to be in the game, and I'm still in the game today. And I got to it at the highest levels, and it's been wonderful because I followed my passion. I think If everyone else does that and follows their passion, all your other goals, whether they're large or small, that's up to you. They are possible. They truly are.
So Logan, the engineer, has been by far my most interactive engineer over the last 3.5 years. And he writes in the chat, I am in shape. Round is a shape. That sounds like something I would say, Logan. So right there.
I say that to all guys, Logan. I love that. I really do. I want to be in shape.
And
Pizza, a triangle, a pear. I mean, what shape do you want to be?
You want to be an octagon? I don't know, but maybe. So he says, I've been called out. Logan's answer to what's your goal would just be, I don't know, to survive. It's hard enough to do that these days. Well, so it's a good thought that we're going to come back to when we're back from this break. But most people out there, they don't just want to survive, they want to thrive. But they don't think about that a lot of times in terms of their fitness goals, in terms of their money goals and all of that. It's just because, I know I want to be healthy, and I want to have the hard body, and I want to live forever, and I want to have lots of money to do it. But if you ask them what they would spend the money on, I don't know, pay my bills.
Right.
We got to take a break. I know I'll talk forever with you because we could do it anyway, but we'll be right back with Jim Goetz, Chief of Human Performance at Functionised right here in Colts Neck, New Jersey. Monmouth County, baby. Stay with us.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Broncu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Frey, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Welcome back to Always Friday with me, Stephen Frey, your SMB guy. We are chatting with my good friend, Jim Goetz, Chief of Human Performance at Functionised Integrative Therapeutics, the Fit Lab, the Fit Clinic with Dr. Mike Brandon, Fit Nutrition with all three of these fine people, just every aspect of your health and well-being, biohacking your body. I don't know, how many other different little buzzwords you want me to throw in there? You got any more? You got more? You got to come off mute, though. Studies show I can't hear you when you're on mute.
Everyone else here can hear me. Now the world can hear me.
Get that voice out to the world. I in the last segment, a lot of important stuff that was said, especially about passion. Motion creates emotion. All good. Like, that's to make progress. Like, you got to feel something in order to really get the right responses out of yourself. And again, I told you that that Logan, the engineer who works on the show behind the scenes, he's by far been the most interactive. And He says that actually working with our station, talkradio.nyc, again, focus is to uplift, educate, and empower. My dad's a retired teacher. I always said I never wanted to be a teacher, but here we are having some educational topics and a little bit of fun from the small, medium-sized business world. Says that a lot of his money and life stresses and even some health and weight things were even put in a more positive direction and a positive light just from the work that he's been doing with the station. That right there is kind of an awesome, positive story. And
Absolutely.
Since we're in the madness part of the show here, Mr. Goetz, this is where we like to share those stories from the field. This is the artistic, observational part of what we do. No subject too taboo. Anything goes. Obviously, if you don't want to compromise certain patients, clients' confidentiality, we don't expect you to. We can laugh about it later. But, as far as the madness of your world goes, we want to hear some stories from the field. And without a doubt, we want to hear a little bit about the movies that you've been working on and the ones that I know one of them's coming out this year. Mm-hmm. So want you to drop a little bit about that because I'm really excited for it. I want to have one of those fun pre-screening parties with the healthy food, the not healthy food, the wine, the extra activities, the everything. I'm in for all of it. Let's go.
And today's actually a part of my agenda of planning this pre-party initial screening for everybody local who's been loyal and faithful to us to kind of throw a little party for everybody on that one before it goes global.
Let's go, bro.
So I guess I could tie these things all together here. Making a movie, I'm going to say, is not easy. There's a lot of moving parts. A lot of people think, let me just grab my, here. Let me grab my little phone here. Let me point, click, shoot, post. Within 60 seconds, I'm good. No. It takes a lot to go behind it. And I only bring that up because a lot of people we get the madness behind it don't understand that there's a process with everything that they do. There's a process and success. If somebody comes in, we've had numerous people like this. You guys were wonderful. I no longer have headaches. So I stopped coming to you and I get headaches again. It didn't work. Okay.
I love it.
If you're taking your Advil or your Tylenol and screwing up your digestive tract and your liver and your kidneys, which is what happens when a lot of people pump them in for headaches, is that when you stop taking them, you get headaches again. Therefore, they must not work either, right? It's just like hitting your head on the wall type things.
Oh, yeah.
What is wrong with you? You're sleeping funky every night. It's basic. Stop it. Or you never drink any liquids throughout the day. You're dehydrated. You're getting headaches. There's so many different aspects on that just from headaches that beats your head into the wall.
So not to interrupt, man, but that stuff drives me nuts because to me, that's an indicator that the people who say stuff like that are looking at what you do and how you do it in your world as some type of product. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to see my chiropractor, I'm going to see my trainer, right. I'm going to see my nutritionist and everything's all okay. Like, oh, I feel better now, so I'm going to stop going. That's not how any of this works. And you said also making a movie is not easy. Nothing in this life, and I've said this so many times lately to friends, family, business compadres, all of that. Mm-hmm. Nothing in this life is that's worth doing is easy. If it was, everyone would do it. However, that doesn't mean it can't be made a little simpler. Things can be simple, but still not easy. I've simplified to a large extent, even doing this radio show. It's not easy. It's the pain in the butt to do it, but it's the most fun I've ever had. That's why I'm doing it.
And it's worth it.
Yes. So go ahead, please.
Sure. So with the Keto Project Movie, that's the title. The Keto Project Movie is coming out here in 2024 to a film festival near you and then streaming media near you as well. We kind of fell into it, got lucky with airfare. These movies, even when you're privately funding it and they're low budget, it was very much influenced, I'll say, by Kevin Smith and the View Askew group with Clerks.
Yes.
Love it. Not only did the movie have me in there, but the fact that they made it on credit cards, spent $12,000 with the Quick Stop store, which is in this movie as a tribute to View Askew, I got to say.
Yep.
There's also a couple Jay and Silent Bob references that we have in there.
Well, I would expect nothing less, and I know for a fact there was definitely blood, sweat, and tears because here's Dr. Mike sweating beyond belief.
Yeah, he went through hell.
Yes.
We got lucky during COVID because nobody was flying the friendly skies. So we were able to hop on some first class tickets for like $100 round trip across the country numerous times where now, multiply that by 100. So we're able to keep it reasonably within budget, at least. But yeah, it did take many years. And once you get all this footage, great. You now have 10,000 hours of footage, and you've got an idea of how to put it together, but now you just have to put it together. Now you got to make it look nice. Even just a couple months ago, the movie was done. I was so happy with it. I had Shantae watch it, and she said, it's good, but it doesn't make sense. I'm like, what do you mean it doesn't make sense? What the crap? I said, well, you need to explain from here to here. Okay, thank you for that perspective. Okay. So a couple more editing processes, a couple more little mini videos that we took, little film, put it in, and now it meshed together, and it was just like, not nitpicking, but dotting an I, crossing a T type thing, and it's all the difference in the world.
Yeah, and sometimes stuff like that is so important, and it's great that Shantae was able to give you that feedback, but also getting the feedback, you guys do a release party and all that for some folks who are a little bit more outside the circle. So we've said this tons of times on the show in the last few years. The closer you are to something, the harder it can be to explain it to everybody else, and that's especially with what you guys do. It's like you guys are so freaking close to it for so many years, eat it, sleep it, live it, breathe it all day long. Sometimes some of the things that you talk about, it might be foreign to certain people, even people who are seeing you on a daily, weekly, monthly, occasionally basis. So that totally makes sense. I know we talked about it last time we were together, but the part of this movie, because I was seeing firsthand Dr. Mike eating the Burger King burgers,
600 of them in 30 days.
You got to just regale that tale to the audience, because that's
absolutely. The fun part, and it's in the preview.
It's in the
driving
preview.
up to the fast food establishment for the first time. I'll take 140 burgers, please.
And they're like, what?
Excuse me? I mean, we instead of going every day, we did the grocery shopping once a week, and DMB doesn't really care about taste as much as I would hope he would. And so he just...
good thing for this experiment.
Exactly. So the idea was to figure out how many calories per day that he actually burns, so how much can he eat? We don't want him getting fat. We don't want him losing weight. This is not about anything having to do with weight. It has everything to do with human performance. How do you perform? And it really a driving force was all the marketing companies out there. Take this. This is the best diet in the world. You're keto, you're paleo, you're low carb, you're high carb, you're Mediterranean. And through her experience and doing extensive lab testing, both neurological testing and blood tests, and taking fluids out of every orifice that we possibly can. We know that no two people are alike, even people in the same household. So why is one person, pick on Shantae, she sucks at keto. Her body falls apart, she gets headachy, she performs poorly. I do far better at it, unless that I'm trying to do more strength training. Then I suck at it. It's not for everybody. And as even with Dr. Brain and myself, you will find out in the movie when the ambulance scene comes in, he doesn't do very well on a paleo diet.
Wait, so I just go back for a second, because Logan put something in the chat. He was like, of all places, Burger King, could you at least got some good burgers? Didn't you do that the month after that?
I'm going to talk to you on this one here, okay? Burger King had nothing to do with, let's go pick on a fast food restaurant.
Yep.
We actually took random individuals who wanted to volunteer for the lab. And, when we're doing science here, we had a double-blind taste test. We got burgers, including homemade and grass-fed burgers, and served them to 10, 12 individuals. They were the ones that picked it. It was just a random number that they had to pick.
Nice.
By flavor. And believe it or not, that flame broiled of Burger King, by far, it wasn't even close, was everybody's favorite.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
So that's the only reason, Logan, why we went to Burger King on that one. I mean... Yeah. It was just the burger patties. No buns.
No nothing. No fixins, no nothing.
Right. It's often the special sauces and the sugar in the buns. There's 7 grams of sugar in a lot of the buns, believe it or not, to make them taste better. And
it's all that crap that I like to put on it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that whole part of the experiment was totally awesome. We will have the link for the preview in the show notes so people could check it out. Like the first time I saw that, I almost just keeled over laughing. It was like they pull up to the drive-thru. Yeah, can I have 140 burgers, please? And, I'm sorry, what? Like, people at Burger King are just not prepared for that kind of. It's you guys,
not
like you're practical jokers anyway, so it's like just a normal day at the office for you. But there's actual rhyme and reason behind doing it, which makes it even better.
You know, the ironic part, we went to one of the Burger Kings, which is down the road from us, each time for a week. And a month and a half later, they were out of business. So I think what happened was they started buying more burgers because of us, not realizing that we told them this is a 30-day thing, and they can't afford to be in business and pay their employees anymore. Sad.
That's actually pretty funny if that's the way that it shook out. Seems like they might need some business consulting endeavors. But no, that's I can't wait to see the movie, dude. I've been excited about it for a long time. We're going to get everybody else pumped about it too. We got to take a quick break before we wrap things up here, but we will be right back with the man himself, Jim Goetz, Chief of Human Performance with Functionised. Stay with us, everyone.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
What really drives success in business? Introducing Intangify, the show that explores the intangible assets that create value and growth. I'm Matthew Asbell, your host and an attorney focused on innovation. Join me Fridays at noon Eastern to discover how innovation, culture, and other intangibles shape thriving companies from startups to established businesses. We'll share strategies to unleash your business's true potential. Tune in live on talkradio.nyc Fridays at noon Eastern and Intangify your business today.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Welcome back to Always Friday with me, Stephen Frey, your SMB guy, small, medium-sized businesses. That's who I love to talk to. And one of my favorite local ones that I frequent myself is Functionised, Functionised Integrative Therapeutics, the Fit Clinic, the Fit Lab, Fit Nutrition, with my buddy, the Chief of Human Performance, Jim Goetz, who you've been hearing from for this past almost hour now. Jim, this is the message part of the show, the whole idea from the beginning with Always Friday. And you guys have been there a couple times for me along the way, which I really appreciate. Not only trying to get my ass into shape, but hanging out, making some fun content together, bringing some enlightenment to everyone. The whole idea from Weekend Insight to Monday Impact. We've talked about a lot of key kind of components here to bringing forth the best version of you, or even a better version of you. Progress. Nothing's perfect, right? But a lot of times people get fixated on the wrong things. Like we had a lot of examples we talked about today. Somebody who came to you guys for headaches and alleviated the headaches and stopped coming to you guys and then was wondering why the headaches came back. Like there's definitely a lot more process and science behind what makes somebody tick. Everybody's different, like you said. Everybody I work with out there is different, even though some businesses might be the same. Like I have, a whole bunch of contractors and plumbers and electricians and folks that are helping me work on my house, which is completely torn apart right now. But all of them are made up of different people with different experiences, different stories, and different, trials, tribulations, failures, successes. That's what makes everybody connect. And the biggest thing that I like to do is create connection. That's the biggest product or service that I have for everybody out there. And we've made some great mutual connections together at your events, at my events that I've done here and there. And there's going to be a whole big year of that coming ahead of us. But for the message part of the show, from Weekend Insight to Monday Impact, Jim, this is the part where we want to drop some sound bites on everybody, something that will really put them into action on Monday morning. Not New Year's resolutions, actual thought, and something to inspire them. So
course.
Hope you're ready to be inspirational, baby.
Let's see what happens here. So one thing you were saying here about there is no being perfect.
Never.
While I agree with that, there is no being perfect. There is putting forth 110% perfect effort.
Yes.
Meaning you don't just settle for crossing something off the list. You give it your all. Everything that you've got. So when you're laying there on the ground at the end of the day, exhausted, you're victorious. And each day amounts to something big. It's like the whole idea of a lot of small bottles add up to a big bottle. If you drink a lot of small bottles, you're going to feel like a big bottle. Well, let's not go for the big bottle each and every day. Let's hit those small bottles and give it everything that you have got. And you're going to be amazed of where you actually get to as a result of that. Now,
I couldn't agree more. Not only the perfection doesn't exist, but putting forth the best effort that you possibly can, that is something that does exist, right? You can always put forth a big time effort. It drives me crazy when people are like, oh, I did the best that I can. Or when my kids ask me for help with their homework, it's like, yeah, I tried it. And they're sitting there watching YouTube videos, not really doing their homework.
That was my next point on that. And there's a book Dr. Joseph Mercola put out a year or two ago called 5G. It's a must read for everybody. And it discusses how non-ionizing radiation, which comes out of your cell phones, literally affects the calcium channels, meaning parts of your cells, and how they work. It negatively impacts your brain function. So when somebody is not sure what their goal is, somebody's not sure even what their passion is, somebody gets a windfall of $1 billion and they're saying, let me pay my bills, maybe I'll give some money away, I don't know what to do with it. Bullcrap. Put away your phone, turn off the TV, unplug from all media. I have people that I put into the lights in the back, the full body panels, and I say, here's your time for you. Why don't you turn off your phone and just chill for 20 minutes, enjoy the sensation of the lights, giving your exogenous stem cell therapy, and they say, I couldn't do that, I'm just going to go out of my mind. Now, why are you going out of your mind? Your mind is in constant overdrive. We're putting to a society now, I'm even watching it with the kids, they don't want to watch movies anymore, they want YouTube shorts. They want 10, 20 seconds, next. Where's my stimulation? That's literally like snorting crack.
I was trying to get them to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation during the holidays. Funny as hell movie. Loved it ever since I was there.
Of course.
Right? The first 5 minutes of the movie is them driving in the station wagon. You remember it?
I remember.
They're like, yeah, this is boring. What's next?
Oh my
and then obviously they caught a whole bunch of the movie and they were like, oh, this is actually pretty funny. It was like you got to have at least more than a goldfish intentions, man.
If you want to stop existing in the world and start living, turn off the phone. Turn off the little drops of dopamine drip that you keep on going that's not really adding up to anything, because I promise you that dopamine at the end of the day, when you actually achieve your goals, is going to be far greater than those little fixes that you get time and time again.
Oh my God. And yeah, it's so hard to explain that to the kids, I feel like, in those types of terms. But yes, break away, break free. I love technology enablement. I love being able to do things from my phone. I hate being shackled to it. And that's that goes with really anything in this life. I don't like being shackled. I like flexibility. I like variety. I might have 6 cars in the driveway that are falling apart and everything, but it's variety. And my wife hates me for that, so I have to sell a bunch of them. But what are you gonna do? So we're coming up to the ending here. I have the contact information for Functionised for, again, 3 different big components. Actual physical brick and mortar spaces for this. It's actually it's condensed into two and a half at this point, but it's good. It keeps everybody nice and close together. But there's the Fit Lab, where you actually try to whip my ass into shape, which takes more than a smile. There's the Functionized Clinic, which is where Dr. Mike Brandon does the chiropractics and does the wacky cracky. And then there's the nutrition side of things. And that's something that I haven't done with you guys yet, but everybody's, just like you said, everybody's different. The fluids that they have that come out of them that show differences. It's like there's blood tests nowadays that'll show you what you're sensitive to food-wise. Not what you're allergic to, but what you're sensitive to. So that might actually have some impact on certain things that you're eating, right? So like I loved all that stuff, a lot of science behind it. Logan says he's never heard someone refer to chiropractics as the wacky cracky, but yeah, he gives new definition to it. He's the man at it, and just the way that these guys are set up, Logan, they are results driven, and that might be something for another day of discussion. But a lot of times, especially doctors' offices and practices that take insurance, they're not always results driven, and that's a topic for another day. But big thing I wanted to ask you, and before I give you some funny pictures that we can laugh at for a moment, what was your favorite part of making the movie?
I got to say it was the travel, seeing new cities, seeing new sites, seeing every place that I wanted to go. A lot of the individuals I interview have been colleagues of mine that I haven't seen in forever. Coach Mack, I wish him all the luck. He'll be in the national championship game this coming week in college football with the University of Washington Huskies. Yep. I haven't seen these guys are mentors to me. They've literally shaped my entire life, and I give them so much credit and gratitude towards them. So being able to utilize this movie as a visit to go out and hang out with them for a little bit was probably the best part.
That's amazing. And I look to movies and TV for a lot of my mentorship as well, like The Simpsons and George Carlin, my default way of thinking of everything. But when I think of the top 3 movie or TV actors that remind me of you, the first one that came to mind was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I like how he turned out.
Yeah, absolutely, nice. Right? Mr. Olympia, pumping iron, absolutely. Right?
Yep.
I also think of Dolph Lundgren from Rocky IV as Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago,
I must break you.
I like how you changed that. That's awesome.
if he dies, he dies, right? And one of my favorite characters of all time for multiple reasons, the Incredible Hulk. Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk. And this was one that I actually get to share with you because I might look more like Bill Bixby. I might look more like David Banner. You look more like the Incredible Hulk. I wish I had the physique, but look, you say that a guy my age could see their abs at some point. I'm with you, bro. Let's do it.
Let's rock it.
So coming up next week, I don't know if you guys out there know this, but I became aware of this recently with doing some work on my house. It's Radon Awareness Month. I don't know how that missed my radar, but it's Radon Awareness Month. So just as a special treat for you guys, we're going to interview my friend Kelly Davis next week. She is a licensed radon technician, and she's got some funny stories too of some things that she's seen in people's houses before. No shortage of that going on. But until then, thank you all for joining us here on Always Friday. We hope you got some weekend insight to make a Monday impact. Happy 2024. Happy New Year. Stay warm out there. We will see you next week on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time right here on talkradio.nyc. See you then, everybody.
Yes.